Hi, last night I watched Against the Ice, a new film on Netflix released earlier this year. It's the true story of Einar Mikkelsen and Ivar Iversen, two Danish explorers who embarked on a perilous journey in 1909 to travel across Greenland and try and retrieve information left by a previous failed expedition to prove whether or not Greenland was in fact a single island, and therefore whether or not the United States would have claim to its northerly part. Whilst as they journeyed away from their home base, they suffered hardships, accidents, attacks by polar bears, eventually retrieving the information but failing to get back to port in time for their ship before it left. Thus, they had to endure several years in each other's company and the ice before they were finally rescued. This was apparently a pet project for Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, hopefully his name is pronounced correctly, and it was in fact a Danish-Icelandic co-production, although the film is entirely in English. Mikkelsen's story is extraordinary and remarkable, but the film manages to make it somewhat more boring and mundane. Um, the sheer difficulty of having a film with only two actors in an extremely plain, barren landscape makes distinguishing it in a visual sense very difficult. And I found my attention wandering quite regularly, unfortunately. The performances by Waldau and Joe Cole as Iverson are strong and impressive, and the overall production is very strong. The story itself is fascinating, ending with the conclusion that they do manage to get the information back to Denmark and prove that Greenland is in fact a single island and not a pair of islands, and that therefore the United States does have no legal claim, marking it as an important chapter in Danish history. But overall, I think I would have preferred to read the original book on which it's based, Mikkelsen's own memoir. Mikkelsen, in fact, not only survived the journey intact, but lived until the early 1970s. And his must have been a remarkable life, given that he devoted his life to the study of Greenland. It's a pity that this sliver of it, perhaps the most significant of his life, is not quite as compelling as the filmmakers wanted.